Still at it here on CardsTV with men's soccer in this fantastic 2010 season for the men's team. Head coach Ken Lola. I'm Sean Moth. Great to see you again. All right, so last week apparently I misspoke. I called it a resilient win against Ohio State. We have no idea what resiliency is until we saw what you guys did against UCLA. I mean, over 5,000 fans there, a number of people watching online, many from their cars on the road. I mean, I haven't been to many sporting events at U of L that have been more special than what that was.
It was a special game, had a lot of drama, which I think made it so special. The fans were such a big part of our success. They really willed us on to victory in a lot of ways, and you could see at the end of the game the eruption, not only from the players but the fans showed how into it they were, and how much a part of the victory they were.
I'm almost embarrassed that I doubted our fans, because as I prepared for the webcast, I thought to myself, looking at the snow globe-like conditions, that maybe we'll get 3,000, maybe 4,000, but it won't be like the previous two matches. But I mean, it was no different. If not, it was better. It was amazing.
You know, what it appeared was that we got a lot of fans from the first two games, and I guess my perspective on it was that they were invested.
Yeah.
And they were determined to see it through.
Yeah.
And it says so much about the Louisville fans. That they're not fair weather,
Sure.
And they followed it through to the end and helped us tremendously.
Okay, so you guys are undefeated. You haven't given up 2 goals to a team all season, and 18 minutes in, you're down 2-0 to UCLA after it could have been 2-0 Louisville. You hit a crossbar, you have a header go wide, a couple really great opportunities. What's going through the mind of your team? Because they are a resilient team, and they've played from behind before, but that had to be a different level of, holy cow,
Yeah, I do think that there's a little bit of frustration, but I think that it lasted a short period of time, and I give our guys a lot of credit because what they did was simply stay at it. We kept pressing it, both from a defensive and attacking standpoint, and really I thought the 2-0 deficit was was significant. I thought when they got the third goal. I thought that was actually more significant, and coming back from that one, I thought getting the second goal before halftime was huge. We went into halftime feeling like if we had a 1-goal deficit, we were gonna take care of it in the second half.
Yeah, it was essentially a 1-0 game. A point I didn't even think about doing the broadcast or even when I was driving home until I heard you on a radio show talk about is 6 of the 9 goals scored that evening were scored not going into the snow and the wind, and it was crazy conditions, but the snow wasn't dropping, it was driving, and clearly that had more of an impact than I think people realized.
Oh, for sure. And again, perhaps we're going with the wind and we get up 2 or 3 goals on them. I think it's a much different outcome. They got the wind early, and with the snow as well, a number of our guys said that they had some challenges of seeing into the snow and picking up the ball and players, and perhaps that had some things to do with it, but again, we knew going into the second half and with the wind and only a goal deficit that taking care of our chances, we were gonna be okay.
Colin Rolfe breaks through on the free kick. You catch a little bit of a break. That's how soccer works. And then Charlie Campbell puts home the PK, although the keeper made a great guess and a great attempt at that. But talk about your mindset at halftime, because as I prepared the second half of the broadcast, I purposely didn't go into the press box knowing that I'm not going to get the fool's gold of getting warm and getting comfortable. I'm going to stay in the elements, and I felt like that maybe impacted UCLA a little bit, because you warm up before the game, you get used to the cold, you go into halftime, and it kind of changes things up.
I agree with you. I think mentally it had a lot to do with it. We came out hungry in the second half, and I think they came out wanting the game to end at that point.
Yeah.
And there was a big difference. I thought that our energy was very good. I thought we got the ball moving. We created some very good chances. Clearly could have been a couple of more as well. But I give our guys a lot of credit because of the attitude. And more than anything else at halftime, we just said to our guys, look, we're okay. There's no reason to be frustrated. There's no reason to panic at this point. We've been in situations that have been difficult, and we're okay. All we really have to do is keep pressing them and then create some chances and take care of them.
And I hate to describe Colin's second goal as different than he normally scores, but he normally scores facing the goal, and this was a play that I think Paulo sent the ball in that he redirected on a header. It was a great goal to tie things up and really rejuvenate your team in the crowd.
Yeah, you usually see Austin maybe on the end of those, but we've been training that, and Colin continues to get better in the air. When he came in as a freshman, he wasn't very good, but he's starting to be a danger in the air, both on set pieces and the run of play. And that was just simply a product of a lot of reps for him.
And I think it was JT that sent the go-ahead goal cross over. Colin made a great run, nearly knocked himself out running into the post, as the ball did, and the keeper on his dive left it right on the doorstep, and that's where the never say quit attitude of Nick DeLeon really comes to fruition there.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of the wind had something to do with that. He served it in, and the wind caught it a little bit, and carried it not only over the keeper's head but into the post. Colin made a great run, and I think JT was trying to pick him out. And I'm glad Colin held up, because if he tried to get on the end of it, he probably would have hit the post. And Nick DeLeon, like he's been all season long, was in the right place at the right time and finished it off.
And you're thinking, with the emotion, that point in the game, this was the Cardinals' victory, but a resilient UCLA team. You really have to credit the way they attacked. They maybe catch a little bit of a break on what was kind of a strange goal, maybe the turf having, the snow having an impact on that long throw-in, but bottom line is it was knotted again a 4.
Yeah, they got a long throw, and all year long, even against Dartmouth, they won it in overtime on a long throw. So, they're dangerous on that just because of the distance the kid throws it. And to their credit, they scored the goal, but again, our guys weren't done.
Yeah, and it started with Andre Boudreau. Obviously, he had some huge saves in the second half in particular, but he punched the ball beyond the midline. Charlie Campbell has a phenomenal first touch to settle that ball down, and then it was Aaron Horton. And I know we've seen some really special flashes from him offensively, even though he's only scored 1 goal. But have you seen a goal with that much on the line any more impressive than that one?
No, it was sheer determination.
Yeah.
He was determined to get in the box, and I think for Aaron, and one of the things that you'll see is that he's very dangerous in the box, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One, he has a great balance. He almost went down to one time, caught himself, and kept his balance. He's got a great low center of gravity, so he's tough to take off the ball, and then he's shifty. So those combinations make him very dangerous, simply because when he's in the box, if he moves the ball, you could hit him.
Yeah.
And that's what happened in the first half.
Yep.
He was the one that created the penalty.
He was.
So knowing Aaron, I know his determination was to simply get in the box.
Yeah.
And then once he was in, to make something happen. And so he drove the ball into the box. He cut it once, held himself up, cut it again. If the defenders had to honor the fact that he was in the box, didn't step very hard.
Sure.
And he beat the last one with a touch and slid it by the keeper. And just a great individual effort. Yeah.
Even so, 52 seconds left, that's enough time to score again, and sure enough, the Bruins are able to put an attack on, and it requires Andre to make another save.
Yeah, and we did pretty well in clearing a couple out, and they played one into the box that kind of slipped by, and the kid had a really good first touch. The only thing he could do was to take it first time. And Andre had him. His positioning was great. His angles were good, and really all he had to do was get his hands up to save it. And then preserve the game at that point. And
then when the fans rushed the field, I was able to look down at you and the coaching staff, share a moment and celebrate that. Did it feel like Jimmy V running around North Carolina State looking for someone to hug? I mean, was there a little euphoria there, even though I know you don't want to celebrate until the season's complete?
Yeah, within the staff, there was certainly there was a lot of joy for what we had accomplished on that day. But I immediately went to UCLA coaches and congratulated them, because they really put in a good effort. Their coach said to me immediately, he said, "That's an instant classic."
Yeah.
And with what was on the line and how it went and the drama of the whole thing, the amount of people that showed up, it was a classic. In fact, I've heard from a number of people that said, "Look, I'll pay for that if you can get me a copy of it."
Yeah.
So I think that will continue to be a special game for a lot of reasons for us. And yet afterwards, I went searching for our guys and made sure to say, "Look, there's 2 more."
Sure.
There's 2 more games. This isn't this is a great accomplishment, but it's not the end of the line for us.
You have to get there to win it, but that's still the goal in mind. As we tape this, just because of the schedule, we're anticipating the rally downtown, and as you view this, the rally will have happened. But Talk about what that means. I mean, that's exciting because Orange Bowl, men's Final Four, women's Final Four, College World Series. It's happened 4 times in Louisville since I've been here. This will be number 5, and I think that's really special for the kids to be able to have the fans get to see them and get to know them a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to have a rally downtown, a sending off, and we asked for it more from a standpoint of thanking the fans. We know how instrumental the fans have been in our run, and not just the last 3 games, but all season.
Sure.
So we want to make sure that leaving for Santa Barbara with the intent and expectation of winning the whole thing, that we leave with the energy and the spirit that they've given us all along,
Yeah.
and a big thank you.
Sure.
Because they've been such a big part and special part of our run.
So it'll be Michigan. A little bit of a surprise there as the 10 seed with a couple of upsets as they get to that Final Four in the College Cup in Santa Barbara. They'll face Akron, the number 3 seed, and then the Louisville Cardinals have North Carolina, the 1 and the 4 seed. And I mean, we've got a Duke grad sitting here playing North Carolina. Like, that has to be a little fun for you. I mean,
I've heard from a lot of Duke alums, that said, we'd like to see you take care of that one.
Yeah.
They're pulling for, obviously for us because of my association being a Duke alum. But I think, playing UNC has something a little bit special with that as well.
And like you said, since we've been in this tournament, people that are there are great and they're having great seasons. And UNC's has a particularly, I guess, precarious tour to get there because they've won on PKs every match of the NCAAs.
Yeah, they're a dangerous team. They're athletic and they have some creative players, and for whatever reason they haven't produced the goals in the last 3 games, but they haven't given up a lot either. So they're obviously a very good opponent. They've been there the last 3 years. They're an experienced group, and Elmar Bolovich has done a great job with them. We're excited to play them. It's going to be a great matchup and a wonderful opportunity for us to continue to grow and get better.
Friday at 8:30 local time. For those of you that are sticking around, I'm sure there's going to be some viewing parties at some sports bars around town and some homes having fun. I think it's ESPNU or ESPN2, depending on how programming works. The Cards will be the first game of the 2 semifinals. Championship game will be on ESPN2 Sunday at 4 o'clock. And we will have one more show next week, and we'll be eager to see how the weekend plays out to see what kind of show it is, Coach. Best of luck to you and the team. Safe travel, and thanks so much.
Thanks. I look forward to it, Sean.
All right. For Ken Lola, I'm Sean Moth. We'll talk to you next week right here on CardsTV.
Here comes Areola. Dangerous player. He sends it wide, though, and Boudreau is there. Boudreau with the punt. Charlie Campbell. Boy, what a nice job to win that ball. Sends it to Horton. Horton cuts to the middle. Still with the ball at his feet. Works through a defender. Another. Works in. Shoots. He scores! Aaron Horton with a magical play. 52 seconds to go, and it's 5-4 Cardinals. Aaron Horton with his 2nd goal of the season. The freshman from Lewis Center, Ohio. He has just scored the biggest goal of his life, and quite possibly in the history of Cardinal soccer. Under a minute to go. That ball sent up and out for a throw-in. 40 seconds left. 40 seconds away from a trip to the Final Four for the Louisville Cardinals. 2 Cardinals collide there. Rowe has it. Kept in the air. Hoffman battling. Still up. Still out. Now a bicycle from Campbell punched back in for the Bruins. Kellen Rowe settles it down. Drops it in. The shot deflected by Boudreau and cleared by the Cards. 15 seconds to go. 15 seconds. Charlie Campbell has it. We're down to 10 seconds. He sends it out of bounds for the throw-in. They're counting it down. The throw-in from the Bruins. It's 5-4 Cardinals. Headed out. The Louisville Cardinals are headed to the College Cup in Santa Barbara, California. And the Louisville fans are storming the field as the team dogpiles in celebration of the first Final Four in school history.